In class, we talked about working with basic color palette, a restrictive color palette where you limit yourself to essentially the primary colors. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a simple color wheel, a spectrum of colors using some of my favorite colors. I'm going to use for my red, Quinacridone Magenta. For my blue, a green shade of Winsor Blue. And the yellow will be Winsor Yellow. So to start out, I'm going to place my red at the top of the color wheel. What I would like to do, since we're talking about color wheel and using watercolors to illustrate it, is one of the most wonderful things about watercolor is you can, a concentrated wash of color, you can drag it out. And you can create a graded wash that goes from a nice dark value. It's the beauty of watercolor. You have infinite possibilities with a single wash. Now, let's get our Winsor Yellow in place. Nice, juicy. Okay, let's see if we have a circle. Let's put our Winsor Yellow right down about here. Hope I don't have any red in this. Clean off the brush. Wipe off excess water out of the brush. And now I'm just going to drag the color. Good. And my primary blue should go right about here. Why am I doing that? I want to leave room for my secondary color, which is going to be orange when I mix the red with the yellow. And I want to leave room for my purples that are going to go here and for my greens that are going to go down here. Let's get our primary blue now, which is, I'm going to get it right off the, dip my brush into the Winsor Blue. And I'm going to put it right about here. This is going to be a pretty lopsided circle. And like I did with the other two colors, I'm going to drag it out so you can see how a graded wash of Winsor Blue looks. It's a beautiful color. Now, let's mix to get our orange two primary colors. Notice we don't have any complementary colors yet. We have our primary red, Quinacridone Magenta, primary yellow, which is Winsor Yellow, primary blue, which in this case is phthalo blue. Now if I take my equal amounts of my Quinacridone Magenta, to make sure everything is clean because I want pure colors at this point, and I take my Winsor Yellow and mix it. I'm striving to get an orange color because I have to use a little bit of my own judgment with this and mix it until it appears to be as orange as possible with the colors I'm using. And let's place the secondary color right smack in the middle of the chart, between the two, and pull it out. Yeah, I wanted it to be just a little deeper. Mixed a little bit more red in there. Now if we take that same primary color and mix it with Winsor Blue. Now when we mix the Quinacridone Magenta, which is a red, with Winsor Yellow, we get an orangey color. Now I'm going to take my Quinacridone Magenta and mix the magenta with Winsor Blue. Ooh, way too much Winsor Blue. Clean off the brush, dip it back into my magenta. Yeah, you have to play around with it. I should have went with a smaller quantity of the Winsor Blue. I want to mix that Winsor Blue until I achieve purple. And I'm just about there. Yeah. Okay, let's put it on. So, the orange is a secondary color because it's a mixture of the red and the yellow. The purple is going to be a secondary color. And let's make it opposite the orange because it's got to fit at that position, the 10 o'clock position on the color wheel. Let me rotate the color wheel this way so I can better access it. And let's look at that. That is a beautiful purple. Clean off my brush and drag it out as a graded wash. Notice also that the secondary colors are falling opposite of one another. The yellow is opposite of the purple, which is its complement. Opposite colors are complements. And the orange, which is a secondary color, is the complement of primary blue. Now what happens when we mix, and you know the answer to this, it's so simple. Yellow, I think this is probably one of the first things you learned when you were in grade school when it came to mixing colors and stuff. Mixing your primary colors. Let's take our yellow, Winsor Yellow, and add a little bit of, and I want a light touch of the blue. I picked up too much blue last time. Yeah, let's start the blue over here and work it in until we get what appears to be a nice green. You know, I don't want the green to lean in any other direction. I don't want it to be blue-green. I don't want it to be yellow-green. I want it to just be green. And I think that is just about it. So the secondary green needs to fall right opposite primary red because it's in between the yellow and the blue. And if I did this with a ruler and really worked out an accurate color chart, it would be directly opposite. This is a little sloppy because I'm just freehanding it. But now that we have our primary colors laid out, red, yellow, and blue, and I use the primary colors to create the secondary colors, orange, green, and purple. Next, I'm going to mix the tertiary colors by combining the secondary with the primary color. Let's freeze this frame for a minute and review our color definitions. Primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. Secondary colors are made by mixing two primaries. Example, mixing the red with the yellow gave us the orange. The tertiary colors are created by mixing a primary color with a secondary color. In this case, I'll be mixing my primary red with the orange. And that'll result in a reddish orange or an orange red. It'll be an orange red because it's going to have more of the red in it. And let's fade it out, drag it out as a graded wash. So now that's leaning much more towards the magenta. And now this is on its way to be an orange, but still a little bit of a dominant hint of the red in it. Let's get back to that orange color. That's more or less the orange color. and I mix more yellow into that, that'll push the orange color towards the yellow end of the spectrum, making the orange more of a yellowish orange. Now, there's a little bit of individual subjectivity that falls into this, although if you do the mathematics with the color, you should be able to arrive at exact color combinations. But because we're working with pigment, you're mixing it with water, you blend it on paper, and you have to use your judgment to determine if you're, add a nice solid orange, I see a little red, it's watercolor, I see all kinds of nuances kicking in here, but that's the beauty of watercolor. Now I'll add more yellow into our secondary green color to push the green color more towards a discernibly more yellowish green. I found it easy to just pull my green, which was here, down into the yellow to get a yellow green. Look at that, wow. Occasionally, you should just play with your colors, experiment freely, ignore the rules, just have fun and see what happens. That's how you make the best discoveries. That is a beautiful green. Now, we don't have much of a space here for this, but let's do it. Let's move the green that we have here, which is a very pure-looking green, into the blue area more by adding more Winsor Blue to it. Picked up some of that Winsor Blue and put it on my palette, and I'm mixing it up. So I'm adding additional blue to the green, and that will push the green towards a bluish green color. So what do we have? We have our primaries. Quinacridone Magenta in this case, Winsor Yellow, and Winsor Blue. Out of the primaries, we mixed our secondaries. When I mixed the red with the yellow, we achieved orange. When I mixed the yellow with the blue, I achieved green. And when I mixed the blue with the red, we got purple. To mix the tertiary colors, I mixed the orange with more red to create a orange-red. To mix the yellow-orange, which is a tertiary color, I mixed my secondary color orange with more primary yellow, resulting in pushing the orange more to a yellowish orange. So it has more yellow in it. Next, after combining yellow and blue to get my secondary color, which if you notice it's right opposite the primary red, I mixed that secondary color with more yellow and created a tertiary yellow-green color. Then I took the secondary color and added more Winsor Blue into it and got a blue-green. Now we'll continue the same thing, moving it towards the violet end of the spectrum. I'm now going to take my Winsor Blue and purple that I created, which is a secondary color. It's a mixture of the Winsor Blue and the Quinacridone Magenta, and I got this beautiful purple. I'm going to mix that purple, which is right here, with more Winsor Blue. So I'm pushing the purple closer to the blue end of the spectrum, making it a bluish purple. Sometimes when you apply watercolor, it's easiest to see the actual color when it's applied as a light wash rather than a heavy application. This is true because watercolors are inherently transparent, allowing light to pass through the pigment and reflect off the white of the paper. In a light wash, the transparency is more pronounced, so you can see the true hue of a color interacting with the white paper. A heavy application, on the other hand, can obscure this effect, making the color appear denser, darker, or even more opaque. And a light wash allows you to better observe the watercolor's natural luminosity and subtle variations in tone. So that's sort of like a bluish purple color. It has hints, and you see it more in the lighter part of the gradation than you do in the darker. And then let's take our purple, that I have lots of it now, and mix it with more magenta. Push it towards a red-violet color. So there we have it. With just 3 colors, I was able to mix an entire spectrum of colors. Having created a basic color wheel by mixing the 3 primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, in a follow-up video, I'll take the next step and demonstrate how to mix complementary colors and tertiary colors. By combining complementary pairs such as red and green, blue with orange, yellow with purple, you'll see how the colors neutralize each other, producing a range of subtle tones, browns, and grays. Additionally, I'll show you how mixing tertiary colors that result from blending primary and secondary colors can expand your palette to include more complex earthy hues. This approach will give you the tools to create sophisticated color harmonies and add depth to your work through the subtle shifts in tone and saturation.